Is it possible to live a fulfilling life without ever having a relationship? I know it's completely over for me, so I'm looking for advice in how to cope and try to live life. Is it possible, and how can I do it? All my family literally says is that I need a psychiatrist, but I don't see it. I just want a normal life and be happy for once. I don't see what therapy will do for me though. You don't think you're fine. You've told everyone you're miserable on multiple occasions. You ask people how to get rid of basic human needs, and you have very low self-esteem regarding your appearance. Therapy could help you with coping skills, with social skills, and with self-image. You aren't ugly, you aren't weird. You're just depressed. That is what you need to be trying to fix. See a psychiatrist and a therapist. They can help you see your problems for what they are and help you form a treatment plan. If you're not ready for that, the people here are willing to help you, but that requires you to be honest with us and with yourself. I actually agree with this. The goal of therapy is to improve yourself. If you go in thinking that you will miraculously fix all your issues, then it won't work. You should be prepared for a continuous process that will, in time, leave you with a better understanding of yourself. I'd also recommend seeing a psychiatrist, as it's possible that you have an underlying issue contributing to your mental state, like a chemical balance that can be treated. I said the same thing when I was your age. It's not over, and that is the honest truth. Hell, I did the same thing you're trying to do and convinced myself that I could be happy without any romantic interaction in basically just started living life for myself. Because I managed to actually relax around people. I found a girlfriend within a month without even looking for one, and I still don't think I'm anything worth looking at. That was the trick for me. I was so convinced it was over that no one wanted anything to do with me, and the minute I dropped that, things started actually working. Honestly, just live your life for you. Don't worry about being in a romantic relationship, because right now you have college and other things on the horizon that honestly, if you focus on everything else, will come naturally. I know you're going to hate this advice, but take the time to be a kid. If you don't, it will screw you up when you're older. Go get some help while you can and just be yourself for yourself. Yep, humans can live full and happy lives without romantic love. And you know what? It's okay to give up, because most of the time it's only then that things happen. It's not over, there's always hope. But just let it go the best you can. You'll be happier and it'll be okay, man. You'll be okay. Hang in there. Yes, it's possible to live a fulfilling life without a female. I assume you mean woman. I lived a fulfilling life without a male for many years, didn't start dating until I was 20, had many dry spells and some bad luck in my 20s, married in my 30s. I focused on my education and my career, my family and friends, my hobbies and side hustles. Relationships can be great, but if your only defining characteristic that people can see is really wants a relationship, then you are, paradoxically, less likely to find one. There's a difference between having agency, having some agency, and not having it at all. I could be happily single too if I knew I had the chance to meet a woman and at least try to make things work whenever I wanted. There's a difference between bad luck and not even getting the opportunity to have bad or good luck, because you're always being rejected at the start, told you're ugly and humiliated all your life, while your friends get in and out of loving relationships with ease. So you lived the life of the average normie? Yeah, you clearly know what it's like to be incel. You have as much agency as anyone else. Nothing is stopping you from focusing on your career, education, passions, friends, family, hobbies, while still hoping a relationship happens and still trying to meet people. This constant labeling, normies, chads, Stacys, this is part of the problem, and it's also ironic coming from people who don't want to be labeled or judged based on their looks or life circumstances. There's a difference between opposing reality and recognizing reality. Incels do the latter, and this is why we feel hopeless and bitter. Chemistry is about looks, women are... I don't need to tell our theory again. No, you have much more agency than me. You can just go on Tinder and choose a man who meets your standards whenever you want. I can't. You have men approaching you, I don't. I can empathize a little with normie men though. They approach women and get a chance once in a while and then try to make things work. I don't have agency, I can't choose when to date and when not to date. To date is not an action for me, it's an unobtainable state. Normies give incels the useless advice of lowering standards because they ignore that for some people to date is never a viable action. Just go to ask women. Women see dating as an action, they start at dating period and end it when they find the best candidate. It's wild. I remember reading a thread about dating apps and most users on Ask Women reported dating lots of men per week, sometimes even multiple guys a day. Once these women have found the best candidates, they give these guys a chance, and here's where luck takes over. My mom is 50 and still gets multiple younger guys hitting on her. Chads do the same, but since they're men they usually prefer casual sex and they can easily get it. For women and chads, dating is an action you choose to do whenever you want and end it whenever they like. Getting a good relationship is not an action one can perform, and I agree with Bluepillars on this. You feel hopeless and bitter because you surround yourself with hopeless and bitter people who practice a hopeless and bitter ideology. You have utterly inaccurate ideas about the lives and mindsets of everyone you've labeled as not poor us. You have as much agency as anyone to approach, make friends, etc. I'm sorry to be the one to have to break it to you, but everyone, absolutely everyone who didn't, say, marry right out of high school, has been turned down, has had feelings that weren't reciprocated, has had crushes that they knew would never be. That's just life. Look, I have friends, but chemistry is something that just happens, we have little agency over it. Some people are privileged in the dating market, like women and chads, since they can literally choose when to date. Please, try to debunk this, and when not to date, since most people feel at least some physical chemistry with them. My mom has a much higher SMV than me lol. Normie men need some trial and error, but eventually someone will like them. Everyone's has their standards and can either rise or lower them. Then there are incels who can't get anything even when they lower their standards to the ground. Think about job hunting and economic inequality. Do you think that a person born in Uganda has the same job opportunities that a Swedish person has? Do these two people have the same amount of agency over their career choices and economic condition? No, they don't. The Swedish person can even stay at home and still get money from the government. Dating apps analogy, he doesn't even have to enroll to the free college and professional courses that his country offers. I'll concede that we incels have some agency. We may disagree on the methods though, but you can't say that we have the same amount of agency that you have. We're the most disadvantaged persons in the dating market. We're the Ugandans of the dating market. Again, you have these wildly inaccurate ideas about anyone who is not you. You have wildly inaccurate ideas about yourself, too. This comes from that incel crab bucket mentality. Everyone else has it easy, I have it hardest of anyone ever, might as well give up. It's an easy solution that absolves you of having to do what everyone else does. Try. If you convince yourself you have no agency, you also get to claim you have no responsibility for your own life and happiness. The whole point of incel philosophy is not to try. The 80/20ths rule, hypergamy, chads and Stacys, every bogus point of incel philosophy leads to the often repeated Eldar, lay down and rot. It's Eeyore logic, why bother? If incels try, then great. I dearly hope they do, and I wouldn't be here otherwise. That's the whole idea. Instead of subscribing to the don't bother trying theme of inceldom, accept that if you want something badly enough, trying is the only thing to do. Which brings us right back to OP's question. Yes, it is quite possible to be fulfilled, even if you're not in a relationship at this moment. You just have to take responsibility for your own fulfillment and happiness, and not make it contingent on other people. Hard yes. Whilst I am not an incel myself, but I do have a friend who's hoping to stop being one. You can definitely live a life without being in a romantic relationship. Best advice I could give is stay away from apps like Tinder, and just go out, do stuff you like. Yes, it is possible. The first step to recognize that it is possible. In fact, I suggest you do this for a while. Put your life in order, find cool stuff to do, the usual, live your life at its fullest. Now if you meet a girl you like, it's not necessary you avoid her or whatever, just don't focus too much on that, places as a secondary goal or something like that. Thanks for listening. Keep your head in a safe space and don't let the crab bucket get you. See you soon.